Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. This is my second attempt at this video. I think you'd rather watch one without a mic cable in front of the camera. So anyway, I'm just going to look at an adventure from this Dungeon magazine from 1990. This is the November-December 1990 issue. So the adventure I'm going to look at is for 2nd edition. And I bought this new when it was brand new, and so I just thought, well, why don't I go through it? It's issue number 26. If you like this, please leave a like down below or leave a comment and let me know what you think, and I will continue going through more of these if you like them. And if you don't, I won't. Pretty easy. But anyway, I just thought I'd have a quick look at one of the adventures. So this is kind of a nostalgia trip, but it's also... these are great adventures, and I highly recommend Dungeon Magazine, the old paper ones, because they had some fantastic adventures, fantastic ideas in them. I absolutely love this magazine. So just some ads here, and then Dungeon Magazine, some letters, an old advertisement for Torg. So the adventure that I want to look at is called The Inheritance, and it's by Paul F Culotta. This guy. Sorry if I enunciated the name wrong. Probably did. Artwork by Ken Whiting, I believe. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Hell of an artist. Okay, I think it's gorgeous. So this adventure, it is for an adventuring party or a group of 6 to 8 characters, levels 1 to 3. And basically the premise of it is that one of the characters has inherited a keep from a dead uncle and has gotten a letter telling them that they can go claim this keep. This keep is outside of Waterdeep, so this is set in the Forgotten Realms. It is for 2nd edition D&D, so it has Thaco. The idea is that the characters can adventure out to the keep and then claim ownership of the keep. And... which is an idea that I personally really like. I love the idea of low-level characters becoming property owners or landowners, not really wealthy ones, although, you know, there's no problem with that if they somehow manage to do it. But the reason that I like that is because it really expands the possibilities for adventure, and it really makes the Dungeon Master's job easier, my job easier, because you can put the land under threat. There can be costs associated with land. The players can become really attached to the land, which is anybody who owns a house knows it can be a big money pit. You have to protect it. You have to defend it. You might find things in it that can lead to further adventures. You might have the opportunity to sell it, and what sort of things happen there, or perhaps somebody just wants to take it over. And depending how you set up your world, you know, I always tend to think of areas as either sort of pre-1066, post-1066, so the Doomsday Book and all that. So sort of before 1066 property, you could just take over a property, basically claimed you always had it, was always in your family. As long as there's nobody around to object, that was just the way it was. So after 1066, a big survey across England was done, and a thing called the Doomsday Book was created, where people actually kept logs of property now, and actual property owners were logged in. You know, so-and-so owns this, so-and-so owns this. And so it became a lot harder to just go and take somebody's stuff. But prior to that, it was actually really easy. There was no way except with a sword to defend your property, basically, or to have some kind of warlord or king or something that was willing to stand up for you and defend it. So this obviously would be post 1066 because there's a property title and it's being transferred over to the character, which I think for a lot of players would be easier to comprehend that or understand it, because it's more like what our civilization is like today. But I like the old one in my games. It's kind of fun, you know. If you can take it over, you can own it. As long as there's no witnesses that can counter your claim. So as you can well imagine, that could get quite brutal. So anyway, one of the characters is going to inherit this property, so they have to travel. Now this is set in Waterdeep, as I said, and here's Waterdeep here, and then they have to travel up to the ruins, and in order to claim it. Now, what has happened is the ruins have been taken over by hobgoblins. And so it's not a large ruins. It's not going to make the characters like insanely rich, but it's going to be awesome. It gives them a really great sort of base of operations, a place to hide their loot, that kind of thing, a place where they can hide away things, horses, different things. Might have to hire some men-at-arms to protect it while they're out adventuring, that kind of thing. I mean, that's seriously fun stuff, right? So one aspect of this that I really appreciate is that the author went through the work of doing a lot of history on the hobgoblins, and then going through and explaining the hobgoblins, their motivation, a little bit of their history, why, in such a way that you can actually role play the hobgoblins. I just love that attention to detail. I think that just gives incredible opportunity for the players and the hobgoblins to interact. Now, the hobgoblins, they rank themselves according to how many fingers they have on their belts. They're usually human or elf fingers, which I thought that was a really clever thing to do. One scary part, this adventure is definitely old school. There is the possibility of a TPK. The hobgoblins are not stupid. They are going to defend this keep, and the keep doesn't have a lot of hiding places around it. There's no way to sneak up on the keep and get the jump on them. So in the letter explaining to the characters that they've inherited this, it does mention that there's a secret passage. And interestingly enough, the author says, hopefully the party will remember that and search for the secret passage, because if they don't, they're probably all going to die unless they're incredibly strong. I love that. You know, this is the heart of the OSR right here. There are consequences for actions. You can die. You will die if you do something stupid. A frontal assault on a occupied keep definitely qualifies as moronic. I shouldn't say this, but I've had quite a few parties actually die doing that very thing. Because you don't expect, as a DM, you don't expect that they're just going to draw out their swords and yell charge and run at it like it's a Monty Python movie. You know, there's very real consequences for being that dumb. So this adventure kind of hinges on the party not being like that. You'll have to gauge as a DM whether your party can whether they'll actually just charge in headlong, because you might want to give them like a little bit of a heads up, especially if they're used to playing like 5th edition or something, where basically everything's sort of a match for you. So if you see something, you can attack it, and you know, because everything's made for you. This isn't like that. You actually have to be very careful. You have to be stealthy. I'm not going to go into the actual inner workings of the dungeon. Suffice to say, it's got traps, it's got interesting stuff. The old owner of the keep was an illusionist. So, I mean, that is lots of opportunities for fun stuff in there, as you can well imagine. Yeah, so anyway, I just thought I'd do a quick review of this. Like I say, if you like this, please leave a thumbs up and I'll do more of them. I've got lots of stuff like this that I can go over. Yeah, so that's from 1990. Dungeon Magazine, issue number 26, volume 5, number 2. Yeah, look at the artwork on the front. I love that. See, now that'll be actually a painting. It's got a signature down there, 1990. Pre-photo bash. Just saying. All right, thank you. Take care, and I will talk to you later.